The deadliest fighters in history did not disappear because they were defeated in battle. Spartans, Roman legionaries, samurai, Waffen-SS, each of these formations produced casualty ratios that are hard to believe, 1 against 10, 1 against 20, sometimes more, and yet all of them vanished. And by the end of this story, you will see that they were not destroyed by an enemy. They were destroyed by the same thing that made them unbeatable. Thermopylae, 300 Spartans and several thousand allies against the Persian army. Ancient sources speak of hundreds of thousands, an exaggeration most likely, but even if the real ratio was 1 to 20, it is still unbelievable. The phalanx held for 3 days, long spears, overlapping shields, absolute synchronization. The Persians attacked in waves and rolled back, leaving thousands of corpses behind. The Spartans did not retreat. They died where they stood. This is how they were made. From the age of 7, the agoge, hunger, constant fighting, life in barracks until 30. No weak ones. If a child was born with defects, he was thrown from a cliff. If a youth failed the trials, he did not become a citizen. Only the strongest, only the perfect. The system worked flawlessly until it ran out of people. By the end of the classical era, fewer than 1,000 full Spartan citizens remained, total. Harsh selection, a ban on expanding citizenship, constant wars. The system devoured itself. Imagine this. You're a Spartan, 40 years old. You survived 20 battles, and you are the last of your bloodline. Empty houses around you. Helots work the fields, and there are only a few of you left. The Spartans did not lose. They simply ran out. In a city created for war, there was no one left to give birth to soldiers. The Persian Immortals were the opposite idea, not quality, quantity. The elite guard of the Achaemenid Empire, exactly 10,000 men, always. Kill one, and another immediately takes his place, hence the name. Psychological warfare, an army that never weakens. They were seen in every major campaign, Egypt, Greece, India. Light wicker shields, short spears, scale armor, perfect for the steppes, perfect for the east. But at Plataea, Greek heavy infantry passed through them like cloth. Hoplites in full armor with 2-meter spears simply marched forward. The Immortals stabbed them with short spears, and nothing happened. The armor held. And then the hoplites entered close combat. Wicker shields shattered under the blows. The Immortals broke. They did not become worse. The enemy simply changed the rules. Roman legionaries were a machine, not warriors, a machine. They built roads during campaigns, constructed fortified camps every night, fought in any weather, on any terrain, against any enemy. Gauls, Germans, Parthians, the legions ground everyone down. A professional army, pay, pension, land after service, a system that turned peasants into an elite. But something strange happened. By the end of the empire, a legionary no longer understood who he was fighting for. His pay was devalued by inflation. Barbarians were hired, cheaper. Generals turned legions into private armies. A legionary stood in formation, looked at the German next to him, and thought, "We were just killing people like him. Now he's my comrade. What am I dying for?" Rome did not fall to an external enemy. The legions collapsed from within. The economy proved stronger than discipline. Vikings, long ships, sudden raids, burning monasteries. Lord, deliver us from the wrath of the Northmen. They appeared from nowhere, looted, and vanished before an army could arrive. Mobility, fear, speed. But they could not hold territory. Wherever Vikings settled, Normandy, England, Ireland, they assimilated within 2 generations. The Christianization of Scandinavia broke pagan culture. The grandsons of Vikings were no longer Vikings. They were farmers. Their grandfathers took loot. They paid taxes. Here's the pattern. Elites are always perfect for their time, but time does not stand still. Economies change, technologies change, demographics change, and now we see elites that did not die because they were weak, but because they were too perfect, for a kind of war that no longer existed. War elephants, the tanks of the ancient world, 5 tons of weight, a tower with archers, armor, iron caps on tusks. When elephants charged, armies broke from the sight alone. Horses panicked from the smell. Infantry fled. It was biological armored warfare, alive, enraged, and completely unpredictable. Pyrrhus used them against Rome. Hannibal led them across the Alps. Indian Maharajas fielded hundreds of elephants in a single battle. It worked for years, centuries, and then Alexander at Gaugamela showed how to kill them. Long pikes keep distance, gaps in the formation. Elephants pass through the line and trample emptiness. Torches, flaming arrows, the elephant turns and crushes its own troops. Scipio Africanus repeated the trick. Hannibal's elephants passed through the Roman lines and disappeared into nothing. The battle was lost before it began. Imagine being a mahout, an elephant driver. You sit on the neck of a 5-ton beast that can crush anyone. You're elite. You're the terror of the enemy. And suddenly your elephant sees fire, turns around, and tramples your own infantry. You try to stop it. Useless. The elephant is stronger than you. And now you're riding a beast that is killing your own men. After several such battles, elephants turned from a weapon into a problem. Monasteries began to abandon them, not because elephants became weaker, but because the enemy learned. Mubarisun, Islamic champion duelists, medieval Muslim armies. Before battle, a rider rides out from the ranks, raises his sword, and begins to speak. Name, lineage, victories. He challenges the enemy's champion. It's a ritual. It takes time. Armies watch and wait. The duel decides morale, sometimes the battle itself. If the enemy champion is killed, the army may refuse to attack at all. Mubarisun trained their entire lives. Best armor, best horses, best weapons. Poets praised them. And then the Mongols arrived. A Mubarisun rides out, raises his sword, begins, "I am the son of," 10 arrows in the chest, before he finishes the first sentence. The Mongols didn't understand duels. Why risk a champion if you can simply shoot him? Long-range bows, crossbows, later firearms. Duels lost meaning. The champion became a target. This form of warfare disappeared, not because Mubarisun were bad fighters, but because war stopped being personal. Berserkers, elite Viking warriors in battle trance, pre-battle rituals, possibly psychoactive substances, complete disregard for pain, attacks without formation, sometimes without armor, just rage and an axe. In battle, they were terrifying. They smashed into enemy formations and broke them by presence alone, not because they were stronger, but because they did not fear death at all. Berserkers served as bodyguards to kings and shock troops. They went where no one else would go. They went. But here's what happened afterward. The berserker returns home. The battle is over. The rage fades. He sits at the table with his people and sees how they look at him, not like a hero, like a threat. Neighbors avoid him. His wife is afraid. Children hide, because no one knows when the rage will return or who he will attack next. As organized armies developed, berserkers became a problem. Christian morality declared them pagans and madmen. In Iceland, they were outright banned by law, not because they were weak, but because armies became disciplined machines, and there was no place left for uncontrolled fury. The berserker was not killed by war. He was killed by peace, a world in which there was no place left for him.